Let's start today with Brushback, and let's start with the Tigers. You know, we did the Mets yesterday. Why not Detroit today? And I'm telling you, there's a little cause of concern right now in Motown if you're a Tiger fan. Thank God you got the Lions at 7-2 because the Tigers, I'm a little concerned. First off, the division. You know it's going to be pretty good next year, much improved. Minnesota's got a new manager. They got a little spark. They're going to probably add a piece or two, get them off to a decent start. Indians might have the Cy Young Award winner in Kluber. He might win that here coming up today. They have a pitching staff that's pretty good. They bring back Francona. You know, they obviously got to improve that offense. Swisher and Bourne have always been hurt and not productive. Two big free agent forays. But the Indians won 85 games last year. He's managing. They have pitching. Good bullpen. Indians are going to be okay. Obviously, the Royals, we know about Game 7. Maybe they're going to go out there and splurge, get a Ryan Howard in there to help the offense, bring the Cuban kid in. Who knows? But Kansas City might be here to stay as far as this American League Central is concerned. Too, the White Sox, you know, they have a good top of the rotation pitching staff with Sale. I mean, Abreu is there. You know, he's going to, you know, he's a big-time player. They might make a move as well. So, I mean, the division is not as horrid as it used to be. And now we're looking at Detroit, which has a lot of questions here forthcoming in the next couple of months. Number one, they haven't won. That's the first thing about the Tigers. They have done everything they can. They pushed all the chips into the middle of the table, and they haven't won yet. And they've won a division a million times in a row. They won in 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. And essentially all they have to show for it is getting swept by San Francisco in the 2012 World Series. There's not a lot going on. They got swept by Baltimore. They got beat by Texas one year. I mean, they lost a terrible series to the Red Sox in 2013. I mean, the Tigers' window couldn't be shutting down. They got a lot of over 30-year-old players. The second baseman's over 30. I mean, they got a lot of, listen, they got some, Hunter may not be back. Cabrera's not young anymore. They got older, Verlander, they got older players on their team. That's number one. Number two, it sounds like they're not making a run at David Robertson. Now, you can talk about the virtues of that all you want, but they picked up the option for Soria at $7.5 million, and Nathan is making $10 million next year. So they have $17.5 million into that bullpen in 2015, and we all know that bullpen is horrid. Horrid. So that's an issue. Maybe they get Andrew Miller, maybe not. That's an issue as far as the Tigers are concerned. And then they might lose Victor Martinez. Sounds like everybody in the world wants him. I know Dave Dombrowski says that's his number one priority, but I've always said when you can taste free agency, when you get into that mix and you get all these teams being, luring you, romancing you, taking you out to dinner, it's very, very hard to go back to the old girlfriend. So from that perspective, you got to wonder where Martinez is. Sounds like Hunter's out of there. And you know what? I know he's 38, 39 years of age, but he got some moxie. He adds some veteran presence to that ball club. Rajai Davis is over 30 years. I mean, this team's got some issues here. You're not going to get Scherzer re-signed. Boris is taking him out of there. I mean, this is all there is to it. Max Scherzer's not going to be a Detroit Tiger in 2015. That's all there is to it. Verlander last year wasn't phenomenal. David Price wasn't great in big spots as well. They got to worry about his contract. I mean, right now in Detroit, you have to be a little concerned about this Tiger team. There's no other way around it. Age, bullpen, losing their best hitter. He's not good as Cabrera, but you know how solid that Cabrera is. They got a major hole in their rotation. I mean, they got some, this team is, and again, you wonder about the window. How many times can you go to the well year in and year out and not come up with a championship? I mean, eventually that's going to wear out a ball club, and you're going to have a little hangover effect, and it's going to be a problem. It's one thing to have a hangover effect when you win, like the Red Sox did last year, and then it's another thing to have a hangover feeling, oh, here we go again. We got to play 162 games just to get to the first round of the playoffs when our bullpen falters again. I mean, the Tigers, listen, it's early. They have plenty of money. He's a great GM. He'll figure something out, although he has done a good job with that bullpen. We know that, but he's a great GM. I mean, they will be busy here in some activity this offseason. But I'm telling you, you're worried about Detroit. And that division is, the Royals are here to stay. They got young pitching. All right, they lose Shields. They still got Duffy and Ventura. They got some young players. They got some moxie. They're going to be all right. The White Sox, the one thing about the White Sox, and I know they've been bad, but they have probably the best player, one of the best players in the American League in Abreu, and I think one of the top 2 or 3 pitchers in the American League in Sale. So they start there, which isn't bad. Minnesota, eventually they're going to add some components. They got those minor leaguers that we know that are coming up, of course, down the road. Molitor will give a little juice to them, something a little different, so you consider them too. and Francona's nobody's fool. He'll do a good job in Cleveland. So my point here, as we start our day, listen, I could have gone Sandoval Red Sox. I could have gone what the Blue Jays might be up to with some free agents, including Martinez. Could have done the Mets again. But I said here at 1:45, you know what, Marty, Ethan, let's do a little something different. Let's sort of break down the Tigers. And I was shocked when I saw today that they picked up the option for Soria, and Nathan's got that 2-year deal for $20 million. He's 40 years old. That really shocked me. I mean, they're going to go into spring training next year with the same bullpen and Phil Koch again. Really? Really now? Really? So from that perspective, maybe Andrew Miller does go there. But I tell you, this team needs a little bit of a facelift in the American League Central. I'd be somewhat concerned if I'm the Tigers. They had nothing going on last year in the postseason. Their bullpen killed them. They got blanked on that last day against the Orioles. They had nobody to use as far as their bench is concerned.